This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
As you may have known, this past week marked the yahrzeit of Meir Shapiro, a man, a tzaddik, whose vision and passion literally reshaped the Torah world forever. Born in 1887 in Shatz, Galicia, Rav Meir was a brilliant Talmid Chacham and visionary leader who transformed Torah learning. As a Rav of Lublin, he founded Yeshivas Chachmei Lublin, a yeshiva that elevated coveted Torah through the highest standards. And in 1923, at the first Knesset Gedolah of the Agudas Yisrael, he introduced Daf Yomi, something which we all know about, which we learn, which we know of Shiurim and so much Torah that's done through Daf Yomi, and that is all thanks and in credit to the great Rav Meir Shapiro. And this initiative was to unite Yidden worldwide to the daily limud of the same daf of Gemara, and nearly a century later, today, that vision continues to inspire, to uplift, and to connect Klal Yisrael. From crowded Batei Midrashim in New York to shuls and shtiblach in Eretz Yisrael, from Mumbai to Johannesburg, Tokyo, wherever you want in the world, we have Yidden, there are Yidden learning the same daf every single day, which weaves the beautiful tapestry of Torah unity throughout all of Klal Yisrael. And these accomplishments did not come easily. The Meir faced fierce resistance and struggle even from within his own community. Yet his clarity of purpose and conviction is what really carried him through. He lived with a burning sense of tafkid to restore the dignity and beauty of Torah to its rightful place. And as the Yeshivas Chachmei Lublin neared reality coming to fruition, moving from just a dream to Lamaisa, opposition, of course, intensified, as we know, Kol Kashos. And while many celebrated his ambitious project to start this unbelievable yeshiva, Chachmei Lublin, a yeshiva that would embody coveted Torah, unprecedented levels and measures, there was much opposition and hate that arose. The anti-religious, the Bund mocked it as wasteful, and there were headlines that wrote concerning the resurrection of the Shtreimel. Like, this is what Rav Meir was trying to accomplish, to restore the Shtreimel. Mamish, so distasteful, so belittling, so disgraceful to someone who had such a huge vision. But this is what comes along often with tremendous vision, opposition, and you have to endure. Sadly and surprisingly, not only did it come from the non-Frum, but even opposition came from within the Frum community, the Torah community, the Torah world itself. Lithuanian Rosh Yeshivas and Polish Hasidic leaders, Rabbanim, Rebbes, they expressed their concern over the amounts of money that Rav Meir was collecting, soliciting for this organization, for this Torah, for this institution, and they argued that instead of building one grand yeshiva, the money could support dozens of smaller ones built more simply. Rav Meir, however, saw things differently, and with clarity and conviction, he responded with a mashal that revealed both his wisdom and his deep understanding of Yiddishkeit, and one that not only pacified the Rosh Yeshiva, those that were expressing their adversity and upset at the time, but actually continues to serve as a lesson for life, for our tafkidim in this world. And Rav Meir responded as follows. And he says, yes, I understand that if I take all the money that I raise, and instead of allocating it towards one huge, grand yeshiva, I could make a bunch of little, more simple yeshivas. But he said, there was once a large chicken coop, and everyone was surprised to find the turkey among the chickens. And the chickens complained, they started screaming at the turkey. And he said that the master was barely able to provide them with enough food for them themselves. And now to have to host and to feed you, you big turkey, our new housemate, who are you? Get out of here. And the turkey reassured them, looked at them and said, true, I have a bigger appetite. I may be bigger than you. I may need more food. But listen, because I make a much stronger ruckus, I make a racket, I make much more noise. The master will have to come feed us more often, and in the end, you will all benefit as well. And Rav Meir smiled and explained, I am that turkey. My noise, my large ambitious undertaking will draw attention and generosity from Jews worldwide. And when people see a yeshiva like this, one that stands proudly in the center of a great city, they will understand that Torah is something honorable and grand. My goal is not to take from others, rather to expand the entire pool of support for Torah learning. And indeed, that is exactly what happened. When Yeshivas Chachmei Lublin opened in 1930, it was not merely a building, it was rather a revolution. With dormitories, a Oitzer Svarim, over 20,000 Svarim, and a magnificent Pesmedrash. It embodied Rav Meir's conviction, his determination that Torah must be honored and celebrated, and that Torah is the force that not only sustained, but will continue and always sustain the entire world. This was not just a parable, just a mashal. It was the essence of the Lubliner Reb's vision, to see things through and to keep one's eye on the goal and to recognize that we were placed in this world to work, to strive, to toil, Adam la'amo yulad, not to be happy with Nama de Chisufa, as the Zohar calls it, spiritual handouts, bread of embarrassment, but rather to toil, which refines and elevates our neshama, it brings shlemus and tikkun and purpose in this transient world. And we too must dream big, bold, and despite resistance that often comes on any endeavor, when we try to steig, when we try to grow, when we try to change, we always are encountered by the Yetzer Hara, the Satan. And Hashem didn't send our neshamas here to remain comfortable, but rather to toil, la'amo yulad, to create something lasting. And in times of opposition, of uncertainty, we can remember Rav Meir's message: don't be afraid to be the turkey. Don't fear standing out or making noise for what's right. And when one rises, when one wants to carry out his vision and build something beautiful for Hashem, he wants to lift the world around him, Hashem will send the Siyat B'Dishmaya. And our effort, our toil, our perseverance, that is what gives life its true meaning and brings deep satisfaction to the neshama. As relates to this week's parsha, we find Avram Avinu was told, famous for his pasuk. Hashem said, go from your land and from your father's house to the land I will show you. Rashi says that it wasn't just Lecha, go into some far-flung, scary place. Rashi says, no, it's going to be for your hana, for your benefit, and for your own good. Asks the Shnobler, the Ma'ori Naim, I don't understand. Avram Avinu served Hashem out of pure love, without any ulterior motive. His entire mahos, his existence, was devoted to Hashem. After all, he endured, he overcame the 10th Nisayan of Akivas Yitzchak. So if anyone needed reassurance or a little extra incentive, it wasn't Avram Avinu. So why did Hashem offer this extra dose, this extra encouragement to Avram Avinu, of all people, saying, don't worry, Avram Avinu, it's going to be good. It's going to be for your benefit. Avram Avinu was ready to go, springing a step, ready to do whatever Hashem told him. Says the Ma'ori Naim, unbelievable, quoting the Medrash Hanelam in this week's parsha on Lecha. The Medrash says that, the Torah, while it's talking about Avram Avinu literally, but there's a deeper remez. And the remez is that Avram Avinu represents the neshama, and light represents the Satan, the Sitra Achra, the Yetzer Hara. And when Hashem is saying, Lech Lecha, and it's talking to Avram Avinu, it's a remez, it's indicating, it's hinting to all of our neshamas. And when our neshama is in Shemayim, and is battling with Hashem, and it's saying, Hashem, I don't want to come to this world. I don't want to endure all the nisoynis. I don't want to endure all the setbacks, the resistance, the obstacles. I want to just stay with the Shekhinah above. I want to stay and bask in your holy radiance and your presence. We don't want to leave that closeness. We don't want to descend into this world of confusion, of struggle. We want to stay in the upper realms, content in Hashem's presence. What does Hashem say? Lech Lecha. Hashem says, go forth. Go forth from your comfort. Leave what's comfortable. Leave what's you're already used to. And even though it feels painful to leave that spiritual comfort, it's ultimately the anoscha v'letavascha, for your benefit and for your good. Because only through amelus, through effort, and the challenges of this world, can the neshama rise to even greater heights than before. Go from your land, go from your birthplace, go from your familiar surrounding means, leave these heavenly realms, the place you know, and come down to this unfamiliar world. To the world that I will show you refers to this world, where the neshama fulfills its mission, through its journey here, through struggle, growth, and serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu amidst Hester, amidst confusion, amidst all the nisainis. The neshama brings even greater joy and achas ruach to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that could do in the upper worlds. Through opposition, through adversity and hostility, Rav Meir Shapiro, the Lubliner Rav, knew why he was placed on this earth, to change the world, to introduce Daf Yomi, to make the Shivas Chachmei Lublin, and so he did. His neshama too struggled and said, I'm comfortable here with you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, basking in the radiance of the Shekhinah. But Hashem said to his neshama too, Lecha, you have more to do. There's more to accomplish. It'll be hard. You're going to face opposition, resistance, moments of despair, but nevertheless, the toivas chol anoscha, it's ultimately going to be for your good. And so he toiled and he fought. He was resilient and he was triumphant. He built the empire, Yeshivas Chachmei Lublin, and perhaps achieved one of the greatest accomplishments in Jewish history, Daf Yomi. As for us, our neshamas once struggled to remain above, in a realm saturated with light, with kedusha, with holiness, in a place that's kulei toiv. But Hashem says to our neshamas as well, Lachucha, go down, you have work to do. You must bring tikkun to my world. Make it brighter, pure, more filled with my presence. We can never forget that. We're here on a mission, in a fleeting, transient world, to fulfill the unique purpose for which our neshamas descended. When we face resistance and opposition or despair, it's not going to change. It's going to happen, and every time we try to do something good, we're going to be met. The same stuff that the Lubiner Rab had to endure, had to face, as well as Avram Avinu. And when we may not become Rosh Yeshivas, start Chachmei Lublin, or ignite revolutions like Daf Yomi, but Hashem placed every one of us here for a reason. And our Veda is to discover that and to live it and to make the best. And like in Rav Meir's mashal, to be that turkey in a coop of chickens, to rise above the noise, to draw spiritual bounty, not just for ourselves, but for Yidden everywhere, to make the world a better place, a world filled with Meloi Chol Haaretz Kevodai. Because while the details and nuances for each individual Yid may vary, but our collective mission as Klal Yisrael remains the same, and that is to bring His presence into every corner of the world. And we must do all we can to stay focused on that purpose, to toil, to persevere, to illuminate until the tikkun is complete and the Wula arrives. May that time be very soon. Wishing you all a wonderful Shabbos.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.